everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and an amazing week. My name is Effie and today we are doing a palette play video. If you've never seen a palette play video before, it's where I pick a palette at random from my collection and I create 3 looks using it. One on this side, one on this side, take them both off and do a third one. So this is look number 3. Let me know what you think of it down below and let me know what you think of the other 2 looks as you watch them as well. The palette we are playing with today is the JEFFREE JAWBREAKER. I know it is controversial, but I have it in my collection. A friend bought it for me. It's bad of me to never use it, and honestly today is the first time I've properly used it, so I'm just using the palette. Please don't have a go at me or anything like that, but if you would like to see the 3 looks I created using it, please do just keep on watching. I'll quickly insert the footage of me picking the palette in the end of last video, but let's pick out our next palette. Let me go for this one. Ooh, we've got an interesting one. Let me show you zoomed in. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can. It is the JEFFREE JAWBREAKER palette. And at the end of today's video, I'll be picking the next palette I'll be playing with. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, please do just keep on watching. If you enjoy the video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it's all makeup content, so if that sounds like the type of thing, this is the place for you and I will be happy to have you. It's free to subscribe and puts a giant smile on my face, but other than that, I will let you enjoy the video. Okay, here is the palette, and honestly my thoughts at the start, I don't really have any because I've honestly not really used this. I might have used like 1 or 2 shades. I think I've used this shade in a blue look once, but other than that I've not really reached for it. And I feel like the reason for that is because I haven't done a lot of makeup outside of YouTube and Instagram, and this just isn't a brand I personally feel comfortable tagging in YouTube and Instagram looks. But I want to use this palette. The colour scheme excites me. It's got loads of bright colours which we all know I love, so I am excited to use this, but as it stands right now, other than the fact that I don't like the owner, I have no opinions on this palette so far. I have heard not the best things about the blendability of his shade. I know the Conspiracy palette had a lot of issues with sort of blending and what method to use in terms of going lightest to darkest or darkest to lightest, but we'll see how that goes. I've got 3 looks planned out. I think I want to do a blue one, a red one, and then a sort of pastel-y one. So I'm thinking I'm going to do the pastel one last because I think that'll be the most different. So let's zoom you in and make a start on this eye and we'll see which look we do first. I think I'll do the red look first. So I've primed my eyes using the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eye Primer, and I'm going to go in with the shade Raspberry to start off my red look. Okay, that's quite a nice shade. I've packed it on quite heavily on the outer corner, but through the crease and on the inner corner I haven't as much. I will fix that when we go back in and do our blending afterwards. I think it's quite a nice shade. It's a bit more purpley than I was expecting. I was expecting it to be quite like a burgundy dark red as opposed to like a plummy purple, but that's fine, we can still work with it. I will say I swatched 3 of the shades on my fingers. I think my eyes are going to be stained after this is all I'm going to say. But now I think I'm going to go in with the shade Licorice. I was thinking maybe Cherry Wet, but I think that'll take it more pink, and I kind of want to go along like these shades here and keep it more sort of red. So we're going in with Licorice. That shade went on very nicely, very pigmented, worked well. Again, the blending will be fixed afterwards, please trust me in this. But so far that's a very nice shade. Now we're going in with the orange, which is called Suck. Again, very pigmented, has gone on quite well. Again, the blend is not great. Trust me on this, I will fix it. And then the final matte shade will be the shade Wow. Wow. It's very pigmented. They all look super pigmented on the brush. They kind of worry me a little bit, but we'll go in with it. Okay, that yellow is really nice. I actually really quite like that yellow. As promised, I'm now just going to go back through all those shades and blend them until I'm happy. Okay, there we go. I'm a bit happier with that. It's probably not the best blend I've ever done, ever. I'm not too sure why. I think it looks better in person than it does on camera, and that sometimes happens, so that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is just pull those exact same shades along my lower lash line. So I may have gone a bit overboard with the blending on the lower lash line, but that's fine with me. What I'm not happy with, I think it's this dark raspberry shade. I think that's the one causing my issues. I think it's just not blending as well as I would like to. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm a bit confused by this palette so far, but what I'm going to do is cut my crease in a halo eye, I think, which could be the worst decision ever because I'm terrible at halo eyes. But I'm going to do a halo eye and we'll try out some of the shimmers. Okay, cut crease is on. It's not the best, but that's fine with us. So now for shimmers. One thing I do think is good about this palette is that there are quite a few shimmers, and a lot of them are kind of similar to the mattes. So what that means is that when I want to blend my mattes into the shimmer I'm putting through the middle, I can use this shade here, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking 3 shades are going to need to go on my lid. I'm thinking first of all this one, which will help with the blending, and then I'm thinking that can go into this one. Ooh. And then maybe a touch of this one. Ooh. They feel very nice, very buttery. So we'll give these 3 a go. Okay, there we go. The shimmers actually worked really nicely. I quite liked how they went on. They weren't too crumbly. They've got a nice sheen to them. I will admit, I personally like my shimmers to have more glitter to them. But that's not what these are, and that's fine, and I actually think they look quite nice. Have they completely saved the look and pulled it all together? No, not really. I don't think the blending is looking its absolute best that it could be. And yes, that could be my fault. I'm 100% willing to accept that. But it's not terrible, it's just not the best. What I'm going to do now is throw on a little bit of liner just along the lash line, a brow, some mascara and a lash. Come back and show you the look sort of finished, obviously without a base or anything like that, but just show you a bit more of an idea of what it would look like as a finished look, and then we'll move on to the other eye. Okay, so here is look number 1. Don't mind my other eye, I'm just priming it, but let me know what you think of it. I've just thrown on a brow and a lash and some mascara and a little bit of liner. I'm still not sold on the blend. I don't think this is a bad look. I don't hate it. I actually quite like it. I just wish it was blending a bit better. But like I said, that could just be me. I'm willing to accept that. But this is look number 1. As always, let me know down in the comment section which look is your favourite. But this will be look number 1. Let's move on to look number 2. Okay, for look number 2, I'm going to take it a bit more blue. So I'm going to be using this dark blue, this blue, this blue, maybe a little bit of the white just to help blend. I've used a different primer this time. I used the Collection Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer on this eye. On this eye, I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Primer in white. The e.l.f. primer is a lot more matte. It's a bit drier, so I wonder if that might help with the blending so that it doesn't get sort of stuck in the primer as much maybe. We'll give it a go. We'll see. I don't normally change my primers, but like I said, I've never used this palette before, so it's only fair to test it out with a few different primers to see if there is a certain one that it works best with. But let's make a start on the blue look. So I'm thinking of keeping this look a bit more rounded just to make it different from this one, but we're going to start with the dark blue in the bottom corner called Delicious. That shade went on quite nicely. It's very dark, which I actually quite like. It did take a bit of building up, a bit of packing on, but if the payoff is there, I don't mind building up a shade. Now I'm going in with the shade Soaked, and without having put this on my eye, I already kind of wish there was a shade between these two, but we'll see. Okay, I actually quite like that shade. It is sitting nicely next to that dark blue. I think when it comes to blending, we'll see whether they actually do blend together well enough. Right now there is a harsh line, but like I said, we'll come back and blend it and hopefully that will disappear. And now I'm going in with Brain Freeze. That is a very nice, very pigmented pale blue. I was not expecting that at all because it is more of a pastel type shade. I really wasn't expecting it to come out that bright. It has sort of taken over the blue underneath it a little bit, but pastel shades just do that anyway. I actually really like that shade. I'm going to go back through these three shades and blend them a bit more before going in with the white. Okay, I'm actually really enjoying those colours. They're working so nicely together. They have blended nicely, they've worked well. Yeah, let's go in with a little bit of the white. It's this shade up here called Virgin and I'm taking it on a fluffy brush. Okay, I think I found my issue. So I've noticed it particularly with that white is that I'm putting it down and really it's sticking to the base that's not yet covered by any of the blue shades, but it's not doing a lot to actually blend out the light blue shade. I don't know if that really makes sense. I hope it does. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just it's not doing what I wanted it to. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is pull again the exact same shades along my lower lash line and then we will cut the crease. I'm just going to do a normal cut crease on this eye so we can test out some more shades. Okay, so time's going for a shimmer and I'm thinking I'm going to use 3 again because why not? I'm going to start with Snack and then I'm going to go into Cotton Candy and then maybe a little bit of Bite Me just to help it blend into those darker shades, and then I'll blend it out again with a little bit of the dark blue. And just to see if they work better, I am going to try wetting them on this eye just to see if it makes a difference. Okay, I actually really like this look now. I think those shimmers work so nicely. I actually think they work better dry. I think wetting them makes them a bit harder to work with, so keep them dry is my advice on that. But I think this is a really pretty look. Could I recreate this with another palette? Yes. In fact, I could redo this look with my BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint Tropez palette very easily. Is it still pretty? Yes. I do like it. I really do. Again, I'm going to chuck on a brow and a lash and all things like that and then show you the final look, and then we'll take them both off and do a third look. And here is look number 2, complete with a lash and a brow and some mascara. I quite like this look. I think I prefer it to look number 1, but let me know what you think. Like I said, I feel like this could be recreated with so many different palettes, so it's not particularly unique, but it did work well. I think it looks quite nice. That dark blue is super dark and I enjoy that. I have just realised this palette doesn't have a black, and so far I've not really missed it. This look maybe could have done with a darker shade, but this one, that dark blue, worked absolutely fine. So now let's take both of these off and do a third look. I'm going to prime my eyes, and I think I'm going to stick to the e.l.f. Putty Primer just because I think it did work a little bit better with that primer, so I'm going to prime my eyes using that one. Okay, my eyes are tired at this point, so having such a matte primer on them doesn't feel great, but if it gives the eyeshadows a better shot at working, I'm okay with it. For this look, I'm thinking more of a pastel-y look, so I'm going to start with this shade here called Good Morning. I don't know how well it's going to show up on my skin tone, but we'll give this a go. Yep, about right. You can't really see it, and that's fine. So now I'm going to go in with this shade here. I swear in my everyday life, I'm not about to swear on the internet, but it's the F word. Now into the shade Bubblegum. Now into Gumdrop. And finally into Brain Freeze, which we've already used. And now all I'm going to do is go back through all those shades and blend them a little bit better. Okay, I think that's quite nice. I'm actually quite enjoying it. What I'm noticing is there is a lot of kick up in the pan. It does get very dusty. That's fine because the pigment is there. I mean, considering these are all pastel shades, they're showing up really, really nicely, which is good. So there we go. That is the top done. I will be using different shades on my lower lash line, but I want to wait till I've got my base on to do that. I want to use this yellow shade down here, so I might go yellow, orange, pink, and then blend it into the pink and the purples. It might not work, but we'll give it a go. So for one more time, I'm going to cut my crease, and actually for this one and the last one, I used the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas in Halo. Okay, well that took forever. My camera did cut out at some point, so I don't know how much of it you saw. I don't even know if I kept it in because the mirror was probably in front of my face the entire time. But let's go in with a shimmer. Honestly, not too sure what I'm going to do. I think I want to start with this shade, and then this shade, and then this shade, and then this shade. I actually think that's really pretty. It reminds me so much of summer and it just makes me happy. Now, I think all I'm going to do is that. I think I'm just going to chuck on a base now, catch up the other eye. We'll do the lower lash line together because I want to use some different colours on there. But I'm actually super happy with that. I think it looks quite nice. I think the yellow against... this is my favourite look of the three already. I know it. I don't need to see the finished thing. I know this is my favourite, but I will just finish up. I will go off camera, do my base. Everything I use on my face will be linked down in the description box in case you are interested. But I will do my base, catch up the other eye. We'll come back, do a lower lash line, and we will do some final thoughts. Okay, I'm looking more symmetrical. I've got a full face of makeup on. I don't know how well my lashes are stuck down. I can't really tell. I think they're stuck down. They're fine. I have already done the lower lash line on this side just to make sure the colours work together, but we will do it on this side just quickly. Starting with the shade Brain Freeze, and I'm just taking that on the very outer corner to sort of pull it into the top of my eye. And that a bit better while I'm here too. Then the next shade is Cute. I have already got mascara on, so I'm trying to go like under my lashes, but I might just have to put on more mascara. Next, I'm taking Sour. And then finally, a bit of the yellow called Wow. And there we go. That is the look complete. I'll be honest, this one is my favourite. I love it. I think this eye turned out a bit better, but it's fine. I'll give you a close-up look of this one. This is look number 3. Like I said, let me know down in the comments section which one is your favourite. I think this one might be my favourite. They've not blended very well there, but they have on this side, so maybe just look at this eye. Yeah, I just really like how the colours work together. Considering they're all pastels, they've worked amazingly. And I kind of just love the colours. It's very summery, very colourful. I really enjoy it. So there we go. That is 3 looks using the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. Let's do some final thoughts on it. So, I think it is a nice palette. I think the colours are nice. I think most of them work well. I did have a few troubles with sort of mainly the darker shades. Like this shade Raspberry gave me a bit of trouble. Delicious was also a little bit harder to work with, but I think overall they are workable. I can't say if it would work if you went from lightest to darkest in terms of your blending, like if you started with your lightest shade and then moved to your darker shades. I don't know how well that would work, just based on how difficult I found it going in with that white shade in my second look to blend. I'm not too sure about how that would work, but overall I've enjoyed using it today. I've liked all three looks. I've used most of the shades, I've not used all of them. I'm not trying to use all of the shades in every palette. I think that would be a bit impossible for some palettes, so I'm happy with how many I've used. I've used most of them. I think the shimmers are nice. I don't think they're really that special. Overall, I do really like this palette, and the only problem I have is that it's not an everyday palette. I can't really wear this to work. I could, but you know, it's not going to be my everyday palette. But because this is a Jeffree Star palette and I don't particularly want to promote it on my YouTube or my Instagram, I kind of get a bit stuck as to how I'm meant to use this, because I don't wear these shades in my everyday life. This is a YouTube and Instagram palette if I ever did see one, but I don't want to be using it and promoting him. Please let me know down in the comment section. I think what I might do is use this on Instagram and then maybe just not tag the brand. But yeah, I'm happy with the looks I've created. As always, let me know which one is your favourite down in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts and feelings about the palette. Let me know how your day's going. Just let me know anything. But other than that, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. I put up 2 videos a week and it is always makeup content, so if that sounds like your type of thing, then this is the place for you. I have created a playlist. Oh, I have not picked a new palette. I always forget. I'll finish my thought. I have created a playlist of all of my palette play videos, so if you would like to see them, I'll leave it linked in the description box. But now I'll pick another palette. Got the tin. Here are all the papers. I actually need to update this because I've tested a lot of palettes recently and I've not added their names into this yet, which probably isn't the best idea, but it's fine. There's plenty in here, so we'll go for this one. We have a Revolution palette. Let's just... There we go. We have the Revolution X Tammy Tropical Paradise palette. It was in my project pan for the first 3 months of the year, so this would have been better a couple of months ago, but it's fine. I will think of some looks to do with it because it's a bit more of a neutral everyday sort of palette. So I'll think of some looks and that'll be our next video. But anyway, I do hope you have a great day and an amazing week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!